Hey everyone, before we get going today, we wanted to talk to you about this week's sponsor, which is Filmora. Filmora is an easy to use video editor for both beginners and professionals.
This is really exciting for us because so many of you guys ask us how to edit videos. So today we're going to show you a little later in the video, so stay tuned for that. And now let's get on with the episode. Out of breath right now. We've been climbing this hill for a little while, but I think it's going to be worth it because the scenery up here is beautiful.
Yeah, so today we are actually in the city of Mendoza. I think we're right on the outskirts right now, climbing this hill called Cerro de Gloria. Yes, that's it. It's right on the edge of town. I think it's supposed to have pretty good views, and then maybe later on we'll head down into the city and see what's there. For the panting, guys. I always think I'm in relatively okay shape until I have to like walk up a hill or upstairs, and then I realize I'm not at all. We also are on very limited coffee. We're finding a lot of hotels in South America in general don't seem to be big on having coffee readily available. There's none in our room, none in our hotel unless you actually get breakfast, which we didn't want to do. So I think we've had that much coffee today, like 2 hours after we got up. So
yeah, we're gonna have to
need more coffee.
We have to find some more. One thing we didn't know about Mendoza coming in is we keep getting told it's a desert here. Now to us, when we think of a desert, I just think of a sandy desert. I'm sure that's what most people think. But here it's very green, but what's interesting is it's extremely dry. And I don't know what the definition of a desert is.
It must have something to do with the amount of rainfall you get each year, or being super duper low or something like that.
And I don't think they get much rain here. But it is interesting, like everywhere we're walking, we're seeing lots of cacti and things like that mixed in with lots of greenery. So it's pretty cool.
So we made it to the top. So when we got in the taxi, we just asked him to take us here. He dropped us at the bottom. We assumed that's the only way to get up was walking, but no, there is a place to park up here, so you can clearly drive all the way up if you don't want to walk it. Yeah,
but it was worth it because the walk was pretty awesome, and now there's not a lot of tourists up here. There's only a few people around, but take a look at this. There are carvings everywhere. Horses, military, and the general is there as well right in the front. It's very, very unique.
Alright guys, I'm trying to look up some stuff on this. I am no historian. I'm depending on Google for this, so if I get it wrong, I am sorry. So this is a tribute to the Army of the Andes, which was led in 1817 by a general named San Martin. Which I think the park that we're actually in, the bigger park, is named after him. So in 1817, he led an army of Argentines and Chileans across the Andes into Chile to try to get the Spanish Empire out of Chile, and apparently they succeeded.
I can't believe they went across those Andes, because we did that
on horses.
On horses. We did that in a bus in our last video, so maybe if you guys want to watch it, you can go check it out up in the corner.
I don't think it was our last video.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it was like 3 videos ago?
Alright, 3 videos ago. Go check it out.
Yeah. So we just actually took a taxi down to the main part of the San Martin Park. Behind me is the Fountain of the Continents. How beautiful is it?
I just love the name. And I will say, this is one of the most impressive fountains we've ever seen, right? And we've seen quite a few in our days.
So yeah, this one's really gorgeous. Next to the fountain, we just discovered this body of water. I guess it's sort of a small lake or a big pond. I'm not quite sure what it's considered. It's really pretty, nice green color. Definitely something they do well in the city is parks. This is right on the edge of the city. It seems really, really big. We're not going to explore all of it today, but there are little parks throughout the city as well. So although it's not the biggest city, it's very nice to find these little oasis-style parks because they're absolutely beautiful. The city itself, it's in an earthquake zone. So basically, a lot of the buildings are new. I wouldn't say the architecture is overly interesting. The sidewalks, they're a little hard to walk
and sometimes they're just broken up in ways like that. You'll see maybe when we get into town. But it's a very nice city, but the parks, I'd say, are where it's at, and outside the city, of course, it's wine region.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been following along so far, but we're really happy with how we spent our time here in Mendoza. We were outside of the city for a few days and got to see like the wine region, and some cute towns, and then we're in the city for only a couple of days, and that's more than, I think it's plenty of time. It's not a big city, as we said. I think there's about 115,000 people within the city, but about 1 million people within the whole municipality. Talking about how bad the sidewalks are, and then we come down one of the main like restaurant popular streets in the city, and it's gorgeous, beautiful sidewalks here.
Yeah, well, the reason we're at this part of town is we heard there's like a traditional taverna, I guess, around where we can maybe try some more wine, because we're in Mendoza, we need to try some more wine.
And maybe we should have a snack. I'm hungry.
So this seems like a great time to stop the video and tell you guys about our sponsor. As we already said, this video is brought to you by Femora Video Editor. Now, one of the most commonly asked questions we get from you guys is, how can you edit your own video? Now, we didn't know what we were doing at one point. It was very intimidating, but this software makes it so easy to do. This software is so user-friendly and intuitive to use. It's also a lot cheaper than Adobe Premiere and Final Cut Pro. So what I want to do now is create a quick B-roll sequence, because we're about to go to a restaurant in the next scene, spoiler alert. But to do that, I am going to take 3 clips that I've already imported up here, and I'm going to drag them down to my timeline. So the clips are ready to go. It's looking pretty good so far. And at the end I have this interesting shot of a bus coming at the screen, but it's a little long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim that down with the split tool. It's the scissor icon right here. If I click that, it's gonna cut off the excess, and now I can delete that. So it's looking good, but I'm going to need some music because this is B-roll, like I said. And there's also copyright-free songs built right into the software, but I've been using a song already, so I'm just going to stick with that. One of the things I like to do at the end of my clips is create a transition. Now, there are over 300 amazing video effects built right into the software, and the one I want to use is called Linear Wave. So I'm going to just drag that down and put it in between these 2 clips. And what that's going to do is create this nice little effect. All right, so let's see how this all turned out.
Alright guys, we found our spot. I actually did a fair bit of research on everybody's list. This seemed to be a place that you gotta eat at. It's called El Palenque. Just ordered some wine and maybe some empanadas, a couple different ones to try.
The delicious looking wine has showed up. Of course, we got Malbec today, or at least I did. As you know, we've been to some wineries already and we've been trying wine. It's good, nice and juicy, punchy, fruity. Malbecs are good. I don't know if they taste better just because we're here. Normally I wouldn't order this in this kind of weather because it's about 25 degrees today. I would go for something white or a cerveza, but it's gonna do the trick today. Okay, we ordered 3 different empanadas today, and I just love how each one looks a little bit different. We have, this guy I believe has some corn in it. We'll find out once we get into it. This one is caprese, some queso. And this one, I believe there's some chunks of spicy salami is what it said, so I'm very excited to try that as well. Maybe I'll start here. I'll just kind of cut right into it. Ooh, look at that. All those juices coming out of that. Oh, that looks really, really, really good. So I'm thinking this one might be the meat one. I said it was corn, but I do see some chunks of carne in there, so we'll find out. Oh, that's delicious. That is delicious. So that is the chunks of spicy salami is what they said in cheese, so it's not the corn one at all. There's so much flavor going on, and that's like, it's very salty. The cheese is delicious, and when you mix it with that spicy salami, which actually is spicy, I'm a little surprised because most times, well, we like our spicy food, but it's kind of tricky to find spicy food here. You usually find it in the condiments form where you can add it later. This is excellent. I'm excited to get into the rest. Empanada number 2. Now I'm very curious what this one is. Well, maybe that's the caprese.
Yeah, definitely. I see some tomato and some cheese. So.
Yeah, so all veggie. Oh, it looks good.
That's delicious. It's a little simpler than the last one. not as much flavor happening, but the cheese is like so creamy, and the tomato just adds a little bit to it, and the soft, or like the shell itself is like really, really crispy on the outside, but then like it adds, you know, it's like creamy on the inside with the cheese. So I love the contrast.
This last one must be the corn one. Let's see. Looks good. Looks like corn in there. Here we go, down the hatch. Oh wow. So that is actually sweet corn in there. And wow, it's a totally different taste. The other two empanadas we had so far were very, very savory. And I think my mind was just thinking this bite was going to be the exact same thing. Total opposite. The corn, it's almost like a creamy sweet corn. I'll show you the inside here. Absolutely delicious. And again, just the contrast of flavors with the crust and the outer layer with the creamy sweetness on the inside makes for a very, very good empanada. That was absolutely delicious. I still can't believe the cost of wine here. It's $2 a glass, and the pours are about double what we get back where we're from in Canada anyway.
They're pretty generous, yeah. And so the street is called...
Well, the sign's behind us.
Yeah, it's right behind us. Aristides. I'm not sure how to say it. But anyway, it's like kind of the main restaurant area, lots of bars. Definitely a place you want to come to if you're in Mendoza.
Yeah, if you're coming to Mendoza, we would say 100% this is where you want to be, or at least hang out. Okay guys, this might be a good example of the sidewalks we were talking about. There's these massive holes everywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be walking around here blind. I also find from building to building it changes, so you just really need to watch your step.
Yeah, you can't walk around here with like flip-flops on even though it's hot enough. You need proper sneakers and proper footwear, otherwise you're going to encounter stuff like this.
Alright guys, now we came down to the Plaza Independencia, I think is how you say it. It's kind of, well, the main reason we came here, well, there were a couple main reasons we came here. One, we haven't been here yet, so we thought we had to check it out. And two, because it seems to be like the central point, the middle of the city, and it seems to be the reference point that everyone uses as terms of where everything is in the city. Yeah,
anytime we get directions, people are always like referencing the plaza, telling us where to go from the plaza, so we had to at least come and check it out. It's very beautiful, it's very big, it takes up a couple blocks, I think.
Yeah, I thought it might just be like a square, but it's not.
It's a lot bigger than I thought. And it's too bad because there clearly is this massive water feature here that's under construction. So we're not going to see it in all its glory, but I bet you it would be amazing because it's just right over there. But you can see probably from the footage, the fountain isn't working. You might be able to hear the construction in the background. Probably means by the time you see this video and when you come to visit Mendoza, maybe
hopefully
you'll
it'll be
see it.
back to normal, beautiful self.
All right. Well, it's been quite the day here in Mendoza, I would say.
Yeah, it's the first kind of day we had to really explore the city.
Yeah.
I think, as we said before, we spent most of our time here in Mendoza outside of the main part of the city in like more of the wine country. And I think that's really where the charm lies. Not to like say anything bad about the city. It's nice. It's just not my favorite place ever, but you know, we got to see the park today. There's some good restaurants. Yeah, parks are really beautiful.
But like Anna said, the charm is outside the town. Most of the wineries are really not that far. I mean, you can get to some within probably 15 minutes by car. There are some that are further as well.
Yep, and chances are if you're coming to Mendoza, hopefully you're coming for the wine anyway.
Yeah, you probably are. Now, in our last video, we were eating some delicious Argentinian food, and the town we were in is where we would recommend to go. Chacras de Coria. So it's just outside the city, but oh, what a charming little town. We spent most of our time there, made a base, and then went to wineries, and we just had an amazing time, but it is really cool to be in the city. So if you get a chance, go check that video out. In our next video, we are going to Buenos Aires.
We're so excited. We've heard so many good things about that city, so yeah, we're super excited to finally get to check it out.
And we're gonna have quite a bit of time there. So if you guys have any recommendations on what we should be doing, please let us know, but we're very excited to explore the city.
All right guys, that's it.
From Mendoza, wishing you delightful travels.
See you soon.